broadcast is streamed and produced by Midnight Sports and is not affiliated with any hockey organization, club, or team. Midnight Sports is comprised of hockey parents who stream games for friends and family who cannot attend the games in person.
Well, hello and welcome on into Game 2 of the Empire Cup here in Rochester, New York. It's North Park and the New York City Cyclones. You heard that right, all the way across New York State just to avoid $9 in congestion pricing. I kid, of course, but it is North Park and the Cyclones coming together in this one. Both teams 1-0. in their tournament career here in Rochester. Cyclones with an impressive win over the Pelham Panthers yesterday. That was right after North Park had an equally impressive win. That was a 5-3 victory. And North Park had beaten the Baltimore Stars. And so we shall see how this one shakes out. You're going to get an extended look into 2.5 more minutes to go in the warm-up period. It's the Cyclones who've taken 2 off North Park already this season. And so the team from Long Island City looking to strike back here in Rochester. This is Midnight Sports. just about ready to get rolling here. From Rochester, looks like a little last-minute strategy at the... Well, let's go ahead and turn down the reverb on that. That's good. It started an 80s hairband with the echo we've got going on in the rink. In any event, this looks like it will be Bo Bickoff in net. We'll see who Coach Rayner throws over the boards first. 14 minutes, of course, per period here. 3 periods a pop. Teams will switch sides in the second frame. And just a little last-minute strategy going on still. But remember, both of these teams coming in 1-0 to this game 2 of the tournament. North Park back in action this evening, 9:20 p.m. to take on the Pelham Panthers. That'll be over at the Lakeshore Rink, and so unclear if we'll have a good enough signal for that. But we will try to push that signal out as best we can. And it looks like we are just about ready to get rolling here for game 2. Game 1 on the day. A nice mid-afternoon start for both of these teams after they both had very late games last night. And so it will be Kishlevsky and Finkelstein at wing. Meller at the dot. Klocek and Samosi as the defenders. That's won cleanly by the Cyclones. They try to dump it forward through the neutral zone, unable to do so at first, but here they come into the offensive end. The New York City Cyclones have the puck side of the net. Bickoff fights that off into the netting. Called into action for the first time today. It's a shot on goal, nothing more for the Cyclones. Just 11, well, call it 12 seconds in this first period. Same 5 skaters in white will stay out there. Near circle defensive zone drop. And this will be Klocek working it to the far side of the ice. Watch there by Finkelstein are the Cyclones. And they try to work it toward the net front. Rejected at first. Instead, puck comes up to the point, dumped in once more. Both of these teams feeling each other out in the early going here, as this is their 3rd meeting on the season. And Kishlevsky able to carry that into the neutral zone right in front of the camera well. Good news is there's no net here in front of us. The bad news is there's no net here in front of us. And so if the camera takes a tumble, you'll know it's that the puck got too close, or your scaredy cat camera operator had to duck. Here come the Cyclones right back into the offensive end. In front, nobody home for the visitors. And North Park able to wing it around far side of the ice. This one might go for an icing. North Park doesn't care. They relieved a little bit of pressure there with 12:57 left to go in the first period. And it'll be Halpern, Keyworth, Bigliotti, Tenenbaum, and Grebin as the 5 skaters on the ice. All right, Tenenbaum at the dot, near side, wins it up to the point. Cyclones set up a shot that was cut out immediately by Halpern. He throws it up for Grebin, touch pass to Bigliotti, right on back. Pitch and catch for North Park into the offensive end. And now it's a puck that sits in the offensive end, then is tipped all the way down to the other side of the rink. It's Halpern cycling this one over for the captain. Keyworth on the puck, right up the seam to Tenenbaum, all the way across for a streaking Halpern up the left wing. Halpern into the zone. Halpern still on the puck, trying to spin it over toward Bigliotti in front. It was the Cyclones first to it. Keyworth holds his own, fires in, glove save, and a stoppage there as North Park able to get a shot on goal and remind the Cyclones this is a 2-way game. 12:19 left to go in this first period. And this will be face-off in the offensive end for North Park. It's Miller at the dot. Kishlevsky mans the slot. Won cleanly by North Park. Samosi steps into that one. Deflection hits the outside of the net. North Park tries to reset. Cyclones back on the puck, near side of the ice. They can't get past Meller, who throws it across. That's sticked aside by the Cyclones once more. Finkelstein gets jammed up with a man in that corner. Meller in for support. Cyclones will try the near side. After the far side didn't work, they'll stop, delay, come up the seam. And the New York City Cyclones now all the way through the neutral zone, across the logo. And they'll come forward once more into the offensive end. Thrown in front, Bickoff was able to make the initial save, but then it was tapped home by the Cyclones. And so counted as a shot on goal there for the New York City Cyclones, and one that ended up in the back of the net. Just a broken play for the team from Chelsea Piers. But they were able to touch it past on the far side of the ice. And it's a dream start for those Cyclones. With 11:46 left to go here in the first. It's Grebin taking that faceoff win forward. Puck gets worked over toward Bigliotti in the neutral zone. He dumps it to some open ice near side of the offensive end. Out of his net is the Cyclones netminder to settle things down. Grebin, though, on the forecheck, trying to get that puck spun out front. Takes a hit to work it to the far side of the ice. And it's Bigliotti holding the zone. Launches one on a wrister. Gets deflected just wide, but Halpern's pinched in now to keep the puck in the zone. Halpern surveys his options. Tenenbaum awaits at the near point. It's thrown all the way across for Bigliotti as that puck. Drop pass for Keyworth, fired in wide of the cage. Halpern to hold the zone after that puck hit the curved wall. A lot of traffic in front. Ends up being a nice save by the Cyclones netminder. And then the puck will leave the zone. Halpern upends a man. No arm raised. Coincidental contact. Onward we play. It's now Keyworth all the way into the offensive end, pushed just into that far corner, trying to hit a trailer. Instead, that puck split to North Park skaters, and it's going to come in on Bickoff, who will slow the puck down for Keyworth. That was Tenenbaum on the far side up for Keyworth. Puck sits in front of the scorer's booth. It's touched farther there by the Cyclones, sent right back in the other direction. This one will go for an icing when it crosses the end line. 10.5 left to play here in the first. Not much to this game so far, end-to-end action. But it's the Cyclones drawing first blood in this game 2 of the Rochester tournament. It will be Meller at the far dot. Lusky, Samosi, and Finkelstein in the slot shepherd that puck over to the far half wall, but we're going to get it done over again. As perhaps there's a foul drop there, not sure. But 10:26 left to go in this first. It's a defensive zone draw for North Park. Clean win there by the Cyclones. They stalk to the top of the far circle. They'll fire in. That shot goes wide. And now the Cyclones hold the zone near side of the ice. Puck dumped farther. Flowcheck trying to stick that up toward Finkelstein. And North Park does well to get it up and out of the zone. Cyclones reset in the neutral zone. Here come the New York City Cyclones. They dump it on down. And it's Meller bodying his man as the Cyclones have that behind the net. Instead, Samosi comes away with it. Curls into the corner. Try and relieve some of the pressure here in the North Park zone. Cyclones cycling that puck, as is their name, in that near corner. And now up to the point. Shot in. Bickoff able to make the save there through some traffic. He saw it the whole way, and not only was it a save, but a freeze. So that North Park, if they want, with 9:46 left to go in this first period, can make a change. This will be Keyworth, Tenenbaum, Halpern, Bigliotti, and Grebin as the 5 skaters in white jerseys. Puck one up by the Cyclones, and they'll try to dump it in, but can't get past Bigliotti. Streaking forward was Grebin. Try and take that on a break. Instead, the Cyclones sniffed it out, and so North Park resets. Grebin on the puck right in front of the camera well. He'll dump it deep and give chase. It's a chip and chase game right now for North Park as they try to keep the puck in the offensive end. It's Halpern holding the zone. Shot blocked in front. Now Halpern dumps it just a bit deeper for Tenenbaum, who throws it toward the slot. Swinging shot there. Just hopped over all sticks, and then the outside of the bar. Hit by North Park. They are buzzing around the net right now. And now the Cyclones, though, right back in the other direction. Home run pass connects. Bickoff, a huge save. And then that puck kicked up into the glove. Counted as a double save there for the old number 4 between the pipes in white. And Bickoff equal to the task. It'll be a defensive zone drop for North Park after Bickoff's double save. This is Meller, near dot. Wins that over toward the half wall. Samosi comes away with it, spins it all the way around the curved wall. We'll probably be doing this all over again after the icing call with 8:52 left to go in the first. Time enough to remind you, North Park back in action this evening. 9:20 against the Pelham Panthers. And that'll be over at the Lakeshore Rink. Not sure we'll have the signal, but we'll certainly try. It's a puck dropped in the defensive zone. And it's Koslewski working that on up to Finkelstein, who's able to touch it on the right side of the red line. Icing washed out. And it's the Cyclones setting up once more through the neutral zone, but Samosi is going to get body position on his man and let this puck cross the end line for an icing. 8.5 even left to go in the first. As it's been a game of spectacular saves and a whole lot of icings. Not sure if you had the over-under on icings in this game, but DraftKings has it at 27.5. You're well on your way to the over. This is Meller, far side of the ice in the offensive zone. Schlesky in the slot. North Park told they can't make a change now. They are the home team, but so much for having the right of the last change. It's Finkelstein by the half wall, and now Samosi carries this clean face-off win deeper into the zone. Thrown on up. Klocek fires and scores. Well, just like that, it's a Dom Klocek goal from the blue line. And North Park right back in the middle of this one. It's a 1-1 hockey game as that one had come all the way up to the top of the slot. And the old 1-6 able to put that one home through heavy traffic in front. And North Park had gone to study just a little bit on those first two Cyclones games, knowing they need to get a little traffic in front. They've done exactly that. Halpern picking up the puck in the neutral zone all the way across for Grebin. Grebin with Tenenbaum at the back post, fires it. He was looking for the leg pad so that the alternate captain could fire in on the rebound. Instead, here comes North Park once more. And ridiculous save by the Cyclones as North Park was absolutely buzzing on that. And so with 7:57 left to go in the first, so much for a slow game here as North Park, grade A chance, and an even better save by the Cyclones. This is Tenenbaum near dot. Going to work it up toward Halpern. North Park does off the stick of Vigliotti. All alone is Keyworth stalking in, shooting, and it hits a body in front. Back goes the puck, and back goes the captain. He can go point to point with Halpern, and does. Near side of the ice. Halpern works that through the neutral zone. It was a quick up looking for Grebin. He did enough to touch it, so there's no icing. And Vigliotti steams in to hold the puck in the zone. Grebin across for support. Vigliotti sees Halpern calling for it. Halpern walks the circle, fires in. And North Park was looking for a deflection. Little after action here between Vigliotti and the Cyclones, but no harm, no foul as both skaters disengage. And with 7:31 left to go in this first period, it'll be another offensive zone drop for North Park. Now just 6.5 minutes into this one. It's North Park who's had the better of it for the last couple of minutes here in Rochester. Samosi on up for Klocek. He's able to dump in with some help from Koslewski. Firing in is Meller now. Hold the puck in the zone. Koslewski does that. There's a big hit in the near corner here. We'll see when the whistle goes. Looks like the Cyclones might be going to the box. They don't like the call here, but it was a hit up high, according to the officials. And so this game's tied at 1, but the Cyclones down a skater for the next two with 7:12 left to go in this first period. Goes down as a roughing call. No head contact call, but the official gestured toward the Cyclones players saying he had gotten his arms up on the hit, and that's why the whistle went. Power play unit number 1 over the boards. Keyworth tries to win that too. The near half wall instead. That puck's going to be sent all the way down. Bikoff thinks about a quick up. Instead, leaves for Tenenbaum. Tenenbaum now can build up a little bit of speed, and he finds Halpern. Halpern right back across for Keyworth. Calling for it is Grebin. Back post fired. Low and hard. Looking for a rebound was North Park. Instead, that puck had missed all sticks, and so the Cyclones will come back in the other direction. It's the Cyclones killing this penalty with some puck possession now as they curl into the offensive end. They carry it deeper. They throw it all the way across, looking for a trailer in the slot. And now it is Vigliotti who can carry that through the neutral zone. Vigliotti all the way in, shooting in. And that one hit the glove and then up into the netting. And we'll see the officials, though, seem to be gesturing to the far side of the ice. So, indeed, it did hit the glove of the Cyclones netminder. And we've got 77 seconds still to go on the man advantage as North Park works the puck over to Keyworth. Keyworth near point and trying to buy a little bit of open ice for Halpern, who spins that all the way across for Tenenbaum. Tenenbaum stalks in with the puck into the corner. Kept in by Vigliotti, rolling puck across the slot. First found by the Cyclones, but it was Keyworth, long reach. Jammed up the zone breakout at first, but here come the Cyclones. Vigliotti washes a man out of the play. And now it's North Park with Halpern turning behind the net and working it on over for Tenenbaum. Tenenbaum on the puck up the right wing. He moves it for Halpern across the neutral zone. Halpern into the offensive end. Under 6 minutes left to play here in the first. 35 seconds left to go on the man advantage as Tenenbaum able to hold the zone. Bouncing puck near half wall. Halpern works that puck up to the blue line. It's dumped in, then shoveled on net by Grebin. A nice save by the Cyclones. North Park has it back all the way across. It was Keyworth who got handcuffed by the pass, but does enough to find Tenenbaum. That puck deflected in. Well, it looks like it might have been Vigliotti who got the tip on that one as it came in from the point. And we can see it on the replay to make sure, but what we are sure about is with 5.5 left to go in this first period, it's a 2-1 North Park lead. That puck cleanly won by Meller. Samosi soft pass up through the neutral zone. Cyclones will take over. And now Klocek will go back and pick it up to go point to point with Samosi once more. Samosi works that puck on up toward Meller. It hits a couple of skates. Samosi back across to settle the puck down. And Klocek can fire that across the neutral zone. The Cyclones pick up once more. Cyclones in front of the scorer's booth. They'll carry it forward through the neutral zone now as Meller's without a stick, reaches for it, gets it back. Cyclones will dump on in. Klocek first to it at the end boards. Puck all the way around the curved wall. Cyclones pick it up once more in the far point. They step into one. Bickoff says no and throws it over to the corner as Samosi tries to dispossess his man on that far side of the ice. Cyclones curling with the puck still on that far side of the ice, but it is Meller, newly with his stick back, who's able to charge up ice in a 2-on-2 soft dump in so North Park can make a partial change behind the play. It's Koslewski holding the puck in the zone, gets some support from Finkelstein at the end board. Cyclones will break out in the other direction. It's the Cyclones now all the way across. They dump in and consider a change, but instead it's Halpern picking that puck up in the corner, working it all the way to the top of the zone was Keyworth, and that puck's just going to sit as Tenenbaum comes to it. The Cyclones couldn't touch it. It would have been a hand pass otherwise. Instead, though, it'll be North Park icing the puck with 4:05 left to go here in the first. And a defensive zone drop coming up for the home team as we get ready to get rolling once more in the defensive zone for North Park. This will be Tenenbaum at the dot. One up to the blue line, kept in the zone though by the Cyclones, and then it was Grebin who got stick on puck, able to deflect it up and out of danger. Cyclones have to reset in the neutral zone. They fire that one in, but it goes out of play. Some short glass here at rink number 2 of the Tim Hortons Iceplex. And so you're going to see the puck go out of play a little more often than you might think. And it looks like it's going to be a center ice drop anyway, because that is the dot closest to where the Cyclones player threw the puck out of play. This will be Tenenbaum at that dot. Grebin to his left and Vigliotti to his right. The Cyclones look to move that puck into the offensive end. They do on the backhand, but North Park right on it. Vigliotti able to bank it off the boards. Blowing a tire is the Cyclones player on the far side of the ice. And New York City will have to reset once more. Puck dumped in. Chasing down is North Park on the near side. Halpern works it up for Vigliotti, who is trying to connect on the headman pass for Tenenbaum, just a little out of his reach. 3:31 left to go in this opening frame, and an entertaining one it's been. If you're just joining us, it was the Cyclones who on a broken play took a 1-0 lead, and then 2 unanswered from North Park has given them their first lead of the day. And certainly, they hope the only lead of the day that they have to worry about. This will be Meller at the dot when we kick things off in the defensive zone, near side for North Park. Cyclones win that up to the point. They fire in. It hits a shin guard in front. And that puck sits in the far circle. Meller able to bank it off the boards for himself. Rolling puck. We'll see if it hits the end line here. And the whistle does go with 3:18 left to go in the first. It will be a defensive zone drop once more for North Park, this time on the far side of the ice. It's Klochek and Meller, joined by Samosi, Koszlewski, and Finkelstein. It's the Cyclones firing that in, spinning shot, and Bickoff throws the big glove over it immediately. And so count it as a shot on goal from the Cyclones, but if Bickoff could have every shot be that way, he'd sign up for that in a hurry. Well, I shouldn't speak for him. Maybe he wouldn't. It would be pretty boring as a netminder to have all those shots be that way, but certainly a lot easier of a game. It's the Cyclones winning that faceoff, tucking it to the end boards, trying to throw it in on a tight angle shot. Bickoff saves it twice, and now it's the Cyclones setting up once more. Soft shot goes wide, and the puck rolls up to the half wall. It was the Cyclones trying to get it to the point. Instead, they stalk through the slot, and the Cyclones fire in once more. 3 saves on the sequence for Bickoff as the Cyclones still control. They work it to some open ice on the near side. It's Samosi across, trying to jam that puck up and out, and the Cyclones will pick it up once more at the end board. Cyclones still on the puck. There's a Cyclones man down right now. Can't believe the whistle hadn't gone, and it does after the Cyclones bench desperately trying to get the attention of the officials. For the Cyclones, man that was on the ice. And so we'll have a stoppage in play here as the Cyclones man has stayed down. Of course, the health and safety of the players paramount here. It's not a fun game if people are getting hurt. And so we're glad the whistle went. And now a round of applause throughout the rink for the player who's been able to get back up on his feet and skate off under his own power. We'll be back underway in just a moment after the injury timeout. Well, Cyclones players just discussing what happened there on the ice with the officials, trying to figure out if a penalty should have been called. Of course, that's up to the officials, not the Cyclones players. And the conversation continues between the coaches and the officials. Well, now the conversation getting a little more intense, but it looks like we will play on here in just a moment. Well, not just yet. In fact, calling for a doctor right now, and so we will continue to pause here. And so we'll be right back after this injury timeout here in Rochester. should be ready to get rolling here after that injury timeout. It's going to be a face-off near side of the ice. And so again, our thoughts from the broadcast booth to the Cyclones player who's had to leave the ice due to injury. Game is, of course, only fun if safe. And so North Park will make a bit of a change here. It'll be Meller, Finkelstein, Halpern, Schlefsky, and Keyworth out there as the 5 skaters in white. And the Cyclones take that face-off win. They fire it. Keyworth got across to make the block. Puck sits in the top of the slot. Pickoff gets down quickly. Puck still loose side of the cage. And coming away with it is Halpern to work it up to the point. Sent in once more by the Cyclones. It's a puck that sits in the offensive end for the Cyclones. And they work it up as that puck comes in once more. Looks like it hit a body in front, sent up and out of play. And so with 2:12 left to play here in the first period, blow the air out of the arena right now after the injury timeout. Two teams going back to work, trying to get the best of each other on the scoreboard, if not on the ice. This is North Park working it around near side of the ice. Dumped in once more, but Samosi able to cut that out. Sends it over far side for Finkelstein. Bats it farther. That one hits a Cyclone, but a good stick lift by Meller prevented that puck from being shot on net. Just dumped in once more by the Cyclones. Jammed up and out this time by Samosi, and it'll be the Cyclones resetting in the neutral zone. Cyclones with the puck at the logo. They'll skate forward. New York City Cyclones all the way into the offensive end. That puck jabbed wide by North Park, and now the Cyclones have it back side of the net. Oh, it was tic-tac-toe there for the visitors, but they could not complete the third pass. And so onward we play here as North Park able to send that up and out. We'll see if this has the power to cross the end line. It does. It's an icing with 84 seconds left to go in this opening frame. Let's start it off with a lot of speed. Has slowed down just a little bit as these two teams starting to play a little bit more conservatively than the opening 5 or 6 minutes of this game had, where it was end to end. Now the Cyclones picking that puck up in the slot. Pickoff had snapped the pads, but the puck and shot went wanting, and now it's a mini break for North Park. Hauled down and a slash to the shoulder. No call coming. And the North Park bench can't believe it as the Tenenbaum shot misses by inches. Thrown in once more by North Park. Puck saved and then spilled, sent up and out of the zone. Bickoff's going to have to get in front of this one as well. And so onward we play, as perhaps the Cyclones got their one freebie after the injury on the ice. And we'll see what the call here is. It's going to be interference. Looks like Vigliotti might be going to the box. North Park feeling very hard done by after Grebin was hauled down on the mini break. No call coming there. And instead, it will be North Park up a goal, but down a skater for the next 2 minutes. With 48.5 left to go in the first, assuming no more paperwork, that penalty will carry over to the second period. This is Meller winning that up to the point, but not out as the Cyclones reset near side of the ice. They throw it to the top of the slot, thrown in. That hits a shin guard. And now it's the Cyclones resetting once more in the offensive end. They'll fire in. That one takes a deflection up into the netting. It had the distance and it had the direction, but a deflection put it up into the netting. And so this is a face-off near side of the ice in the offensive zone for the visitors. Puck's dropped once more. The Cyclones come away with it. One-timer in. Bickoff had gotten all the way across. Got a piece of it to send it up into the back glass as we play on. Cyclones holding the zone there and not with a high stick in the eyes of the officials. Cyclones still on the puck all the way up at the far point. And it was Finkelstein with an aggressive penalty kill. And now North Park trying to get the puck up and out of the zone. 8 seconds left to go as that shot goes over the net. It's North Park trying to get out of this first period. And the Cyclones stop and delay, but the buzzer goes as North Park retained its penalty killing shape. So after 1, it's North Park 2, the Cyclones 1. Stick around. We're going to put 14 on the board. Do it all over again in a moment. This is Midnight Sports. just about ready to get rolling here. Middle frame from Rochester, 14 on the board. Still a minute and 8 seconds left to go on the man advantage for the Cyclones as Meller's in on the forecheck. Here come the Cyclones through the neutral zone into the offensive end, trying to set something up. Instead, that puck gets pushed all the way to the end boards, and washing a man out of the play was Klochek. It's the Cyclones dumping it in once more, near corner, as that puck sits to the side of the net, and it's thrown in. Bickoff was thinking about sliding to the far post, didn't have to as the puck was rejected. And the Cyclones reset in the near corner once more. Puck sits now at the far point, dumped in again, as the Cyclones looking to grind North Park down in their own end. It is the period of the long change. Always hard to kill penalties, but it looks like it'll be Samosi going to the box here. They're going to call him on a trip, which he must have done with his elbow into somebody's back. Never seen a trip like that, but there's a first time for everything. And so that was a tough call against the team from Long Island City. But of course, the only two opinions that matter are the opinions of the folks wearing stripes out there. And so for the next 26 seconds, it's going to be a 5-on-3 in favor of the Cyclones. It is Tenenbaum, Halpern, and Keyworth as the three skaters in white. Assuming no more paperwork, there'll be an abbreviated 5-on-4, but here come the Cyclones shooting just wide on the soft toss toward the net. It's now the Cyclones creeping on in, working it up to the slot, but that puck hopped over all sticks. That might do it for the 5-on-3 unless the Cyclones can get a rush out of this very quickly. 5 seconds left to go in the 5-on-3. New York City right back into the offensive end, and it's a 5-on-4 now as Meller all the way down the ice, and upended was Halpern with a hit right up to the head. Onward we play, though, as it was deemed to be a legal hit. The Cyclones have to reset once more. 1:17 left to go on the man advantage, and it's Tenenbaum, Meller, Halpern, and Keyworth as the penalty killers out there. Cyclones work that at the blue line. They'll drop the puck there and then carry deep. Trying to curl toward the slot. Coming across was Meller to jam up the play. Cyclones fire that in to the near corner. They're trying to find some open ice out there. They haven't been able to find it yet. Top of the slot now, stepping into one. Soft toss. Ends up deflecting well wide. And so the Cyclones reset once more in the near corner, up to the near point. Cyclones fire that one in. It was kicked aside by Halpern, but alone in front were the Cyclones, and Bickoff said no. He gets all the way across. Shot comes in, and it was handcuffed where the Cyclones on the follow-up. 30 seconds left to go on the man advantage now. Cyclones in once more. This time they do shoot and score. Well, it had been coming for the Cyclones as they got a few bites at the apple. It was Bickoff with some big saves during the sequence. But it will be the Cyclones tying this one up on the man advantage that the North Park fans did not agree with. And so with 11:42 left to go in this second period, we're all knotted up at 2. Ensuing faceoff, we'll see Meller flanked by Koslewski and Finkelstein, backed up by Klochek and Samosi. It's the Cyclones working that puck forward, and it ping-pongs around just a bit, comes to a North Park stick on up into the neutral zone. It was Koslewski taking a hit across the logo, and so it's the Cyclones resetting in the neutral zone. They'll dump in. It's a delayed offside. They hadn't touched up, but onward we play. And so it is the Cyclones batting that puck just a little bit deeper in the zone. New York City trying to capitalize on tying this one up and the momentum they had. It's Meller able to skate across with the puck. He shook off a man who had hit him. Meller's still going. It's 150 feet for Meller. He's able to work that on over for Samosi, who shoots in. That puck gets stopped in front, and here come the Cyclones back in the other direction. Klochek's back to make this a one-on-one. Klochek pushes his man wide, and he does a great job of it, as it'll be North Park sending this one all the way up and out. It should go for an icing. The arm was raised for icing, but the Cyclones must have slow skated it, and so icing gets washed out, and now we get a whistle. And, well, it really feels like it's all happening here. So call it a very late whistle for an icing with 10:41 left to play here in the second. No whistle went at the offensive end for North Park. But it's North Park working that faceoff win all the way to the far side of the ice. Not out just yet. Keyworth all the way across. He was looking for Grebin. They got crossed up. The Cyclones will take over in their own end. It's North Park holding the zone. Tenenbaum firing in. That puck frozen nicely by the Cyclones. But it's a pushback there from North Park with 10:24 left to go in the second period. And it's an interesting tournament with 5 teams in the division. A tie or a loss does not necessarily mean any team is eliminated, but it does put more pressure on winning the rest of the games. Here come the Cyclones back in the other direction. Keyworth in a sprint into the offensive end. Bickoff got a glove on it and threw it on up into the glass. North Park trying to come back in the other direction. This game speeding up once more now in the second period. It's Keyworth tracking that puck down at his own blue line. He's got Bigliotti up the right wing, who had drawn some defenders, trying to find Tenenbaum instead. And Keyworth all the way back for the puck. Works it on over for Halpern. Halpern surveys his options. Soft toss up toward Grebin. Grebin works that up toward Bigliotti. Bigliotti able to carry into the offensive end. He gets pushed onto his backhand, stops and turns, tries to work it farther into the low slot. Instead, it'll be the Cyclones coming away with it only so far as Grebin. Cyclones now able to jam that off the boards. Back up to Keyworth, who can dump on in. It was North Park who had looked like they had touched up on the delayed offside. So the reverse of the non-call all the way down in the North Park end. This should be a neutral zone drop coming up after North Park goes offside with 9:28 left to play here in the second. It's all left to play for right now. Cyclones with 18 shots, North Park with 9. Both teams with some good chances. And it'll be Miller at the dot looking to add to those chances. Clean win to Samosi. Pulls it off the boards. Tries to jam it farther there. The Cyclones sniff that one out and pour into the offensive end. Klocek on over to mind his man in the corner. Cyclones throw that out. It goes behind the net. And Samosi across, able to flick that up to the point. Not out once more. The shot comes in as Bickoff sticks it aside. Jam shot doesn't connect. A couple of sticks in the way. Loose puck in front. It's how the Cyclones have scored both of their goals. North Park keen to prevent the chance from happening again. Bouncing puck couldn't be kicked farther. And now it's Meller all the way across in that far corner to pick up the puck. Got a man draped on him. Samosi works that up toward Kishlevsky. Kishlevsky can flick it up to Finkelstein and dump that puck into the offensive end. It's now Finkelstein giving chase. Throws it around. Tight on that far post was the Cyclones man between the pipes. The Cyclones look to reset once more. They throw that puck up right across the blue line all the way down. This one should cross the end line for an icing, and we do get a whistle on that icing with 8:28 left to play here in the second. Offensive zone drop upcoming for North Park, and they can make a personnel change if they would like to. Now another reminder, North Park back in action this evening, 9:20 p.m. against the Pelham Panthers at the Lakeshore Rink. There, North Park got its first victory in the tournament last night, and so, subject to carrier restrictions, we'll have all the coverage for you, 9:20 p.m. Eastern this evening, right here on Midnight Sports. It's the Cyclones trying to get that puck up and out. Spinning, turning, shooting was Tenenbaum, and what a save by the Cyclones man, who did not know where that puck was going to go on the spinning shot. And so 8:14 left to play here in the second. Another offensive zone drop for the home team. And this will be Tenenbaum, far dot. That toward Bigliotti, who tries to swipe it farther. A Cyclone stick in the way. Puck rolls on up toward Halpern. He fires in. Oh, it hits the post. You can hear the iron from here. That one hit the post square. Figure that geometry out as North Park thought they had retaken the lead. It's now the Cyclones, near side of the ice, stalking into the offensive end. New York City throws it across, but that one's picked off by Halpern, who's looking for Bigliotti. It was the long reach, though, of the Cyclones that jammed up the play. They'll dump in once more. All the way back is Tenenbaum. He's going to use the glass and bank that on out. Grebin gets on his horse to try to get to this puck in the offensive end. And Grebin does have it. Throws that all the way across. They were looking for Bigliotti back post. Instead, a Cyclone stick in the way, and now it's Keyworth in a dead sprint to break up this 2-on-0. Look out, Cyclones have it. Bickoff with a huge save. Oh, that leg pad couldn't have gotten any bigger for Bo Bickoff, who kept this a 2-2 hockey game, throwing that big right leg pad out. to prevent the breakaway chance from the Cyclones. It's now the Cyclones trying to get this puck up and out of their own zone as Finkelstein across is able to jam that toward Meller. Meller carries farther, and that's dumped in once more by Finkelstein. Sticks everywhere out there as this game has become a little bit fraught with Meller carrying that puck in the corner. He gets hauled down. The Cyclones able to jump on top of him. And it's North Park throwing it out. Samosi, long reach, able to keep the puck in the zone. Spins it off for Klocek, the goal scorer, shoots in. Puck spilled in front. Cyclones first to it. And they'll skate this up and out of the zone in a 3-on-2 if they hurry. It's the Cyclones alone in front. They shoot, they score. Well, we'll check the replay on that one. We don't usually show other teams' goals, but very curious to see if the Cyclones were offside. Can't send the challenge to Toronto, of course. But it was a puck that was still carried by the Cyclones and then flicked into the offensive zone on what turned into a break with 6.5 left to go. You can judge yourself at home whether that play was offside. It looked a little bit offside from here, but it was a tight call and a bang-bang play, and certainly all of those calls seem to be going against North Park at the moment. Not really an unbiased opinion, of course, but North Park feeling hard done by as the Cyclones tied it up on a penalty the North Park fans didn't think should have been called, and then just scored the go-ahead goal on a very tight play that appeared to be offside. In any event, oh boy, it was Finkelstein taking a big hit there to move the puck out of the zone. North Park resets in its own end, bodies flying everywhere. The hitting really picking up here from Rochester. These two teams know each other well. And if there is contempt, familiarity certainly breeds it, as we're going to get a call here on the Cyclones. After they had touched the puck, it was a roughing call. And the Cyclones will go to the box with 5:52 left to play here in the second. North Park down a goal, up a man for the next 2 minutes on the roughing call against the visitors. And no time like the present to try and even things on the scoreboard. They will send Keyworth, Grebin, Vigliotti, Tenenbaum, and Halpern over the boards to try to do just that. It's Grebin taking that face-off win back to Halpern, on back toward Grebin. Grebin with a little bit of space here. He's going to fire in. That puck took a deflection up into the glass, and Vigliotti works it for Tenenbaum. All the way across for Halpern. One-timer for Keyworth, shot it, scored! Well, it was a one-timer from the captain, and there was no doubt about where that one was going to end up as soon as it was worked on over to his stick. It was an excellent pass as well. Don't sleep on the Halpern pass down low. That was able to put the puck right on the stick of the captain. And with 5:38 left to go in this second period, all of a sudden it's a 3-3 hockey game. Now ensuing faceoffs going to be Tenenbaum at the dot. Vigliotti to his right, Grebin to his left. Puck dropped quickly there, but it's Keyworth able to work it over for Halpern. Two D-men combining on that goal, and now it's Vigliotti shooting in. That blockered up into the corner by the Cyclones. Grebin carries it farther behind the net, spun around near side of the ice. Keyworth fires in. That hits a couple of bodies in front, and here come the Cyclones looking for a stretch pass, but Halpern had got back to cut out the threat. It's now the Cyclones having to reset in the neutral zone. They'll dump in softly. A big hit. Well, like there was Vigliotti who got hit there. And so he'll pop on up and continue to skate as he throws that across the neutral zone. Finds Halpern who can dump on in. It's the Cyclones picking the puck up in their own end and trying to work that out of the corner, which they do. Look out, the Cyclones continuing to position a man on the offensive side of the red line. We've got an arm raised here. And now down. It was a delayed offside call that gets wiped out. Here come the Cyclones in the other direction. It's the Cyclones all the way into the slot. And standing a man up there was Finkelstein. Cyclones have it back. They throw in. That deflection carried the puck wide as the Cyclones now come to the near side. And then the far. It was North Park throwing that up and out. Bickoff Gets a head tap from his captain as he had moved post to post, made the save. And the puck eventually out of play with 4:16 left to go here in the second. This game has a little bit of everything right now. And it will be Meller at the dot near side of the defensive zone. Cyclones come away with it. They fire in on Bickoff, who's able to snap the glove up, freeze it. We'll do it all over again just after 3 seconds off the scoreboard. That's Meller chopping that through the circle. Cyclones dump in. Samosi able to get body position on a Cyclone. And it's the Cyclones looking to come away with it in the near corner. North Park's backed off just for a moment here as the Cyclones will possess the puck now at the end boards, looking for a trailer. Instead, it's a bouncing puck found by Meller. Meller able to fire that all the way across. Turning and working it farther was Koszlewski. Cyclones come away with it in front of the North Park bench, but now Meller stands a man up right in front of that bench, and it's going to be dumped in by North Park. Cyclones look to get the puck up and out very quickly, and instead they'll work it out methodically through the neutral zone. Here come the Cyclones. Samosi kicks the puck to himself and fires that across the neutral zone for Koszlewski to track down. Able to jab it into the offensive end. Vigliotti sets up a shot. It was a laser on net, but Finkelstein was waiting back post, and so North Park sets up once more. Near side of the ice, Keyworth pinched all the way in. That puck sits in the slot for a moment, but the Cyclones will collect. Just about 3 minutes left to go here in the second as Keyworth stalked all the way back with Halpern to get that puck out of danger. Thrown up around the curved wall. Cyclones have it there. Nearly took a too many men on the ice penalty. Instead, the shot gets deflected, goes wide. Keyworth able to clear, and Grebin tries to track that puck down. But the fastest man on earth probably not able to get down there in time with 2:48 left to go in the second. It'll be a defensive zone drop for North Park. Well, despite the Cyclones winning the first 2 games between these teams this season back in New York, each of those games has been close. And today's game no different here in Rochester. And this is Tenenbaum trying to flick that puck up toward Vigliotti. He gets it back from 88. And Grebin able to chip it farther to himself. It's a mini 2-on-1 here. As that pass just a little bit behind. There was no passing lane that was open. And so North Park content to hold the puck in the offensive zone for a moment. And it's the Cyclones now coming back in the other direction. The North Park fans don't like the non-call behind the play, but it's Tenenbaum in a mini break here. Tenenbaum into the offensive zone, shot in, saved by the Cyclones. And their netminder gets a cheer from their bench, and deservedly so. It's now North Park trying to set something up once more. Instead, the Cyclones will come back in the other direction. New York City into the offensive zone. Drop pass connects. Shot in high of the cage. Bickoff got a glove on it anyway as the Cyclones try to set up once more in the slot. It was a collision in that slot. Cyclones still possessed. They'll dump it in just a bit deeper. North Park banks that off the glass, and now Grebin tries to track that puck down into the offensive end. Last-ditch defending by the Cyclones prevents the threat. And now New York City into the offensive zone once more. Long reach by Keyworth prevents that shot from coming in, and Bickoff came way out of the blue paint to make the ensuing save. Here come the Cyclones in front. Puck rolls toward the slot. North Park discombobulated right now. That puck comes in, deflected wide. It's the Cyclones. 80 seconds left to go. Getting across was Tenenbaum with a great defensive play as he had cut out the threat. And so all the way back to his own end is Koszlewski. He's able to work it up strong side into the neutral zone. Cyclones try to reset, but here's Tenenbaum into the offensive end. Out of his cage was the Cyclones netminder to prevent the alternate captain from having another chance. Here come the Cyclones back in the other direction. They try to send it across, and they shoot and score. It was a broken play for the Cyclones. It hit a skate in front, came right back to the stick of the Cyclones man. And so the Cyclones reestablish their 1-goal lead here with 56 seconds left to play in the second period. Well, there is always a chance these two teams can meet each other in the finals as well. And so consider this perhaps chapter 1 of a 2-chapter book here in Rochester. But first, we still have 14 minutes and 56 seconds of hockey left in this one. It's Samosi on the puck at his blue line, stalks up the right wing through the neutral zone, and he'll dump on in as Finkelstein looks to hold the zone near side of the ice. Samosi all the way across, dumps in once more. Cyclones will pick it up far side of the ice, unable to get it out on the first attempt, but they do on the second, and they'll pull that puck farther in front of the scorer's booth. Meller across, he takes a hit, but it's Koslewski able to dump that puck on in. Cyclones will give chase. 25 seconds left to go here in the second period. Cyclones pick it up at the end boards, harassed there by Finkelstein, but they will escape with it. Bouncing puck's going to come all the way down, and we get an icing call with 14 seconds left. Offensive zone drop upcoming for North Park. Find themselves down a goal late in this second period. Could be a near circle drop for the team from Long Island City. Now it's Keyworth, Tenenbaum, Halpern, Grebin, and Vigliotti as the 5 skaters out on the ice. Tenenbaum at the dot. It's a puck that sits at the dot. Vigliotti able to pull it onto his stick, fires in, and it's chested into the glove by the Cyclones netminder, and so counted as a shot on goal. Nothing more just yet for North Park. Shots 24-14 right now in the Cyclones' favor. And North Park looking to even that up, certainly on the scoreboard, but the more important number, they would love to even up as well. Tenenbaum at the dot, comes to Bigliotti again, fires this one just a bit high into the netting, and he gets a little bit of a sarcastic cheer from the Cyclones bench on that shot. But we'll see. Looks like the puck must have taken a deflection, because otherwise this faceoff would be out of the zone. This is now Tenenbaum at the near dot. 4 seconds left to go here. Fired in once more. Puck spilled in front, covered up nicely. It's been a good sequence for North Park with 14 seconds left. They've gotten 3 shots off and a face-off win each time, but with only 0.6 seconds left to go in this second period. And it's unlikely they'll get another one off. That puck gets dropped. It was a stick lift there at center ice, and the official just took a stick to the face, and we'll see if any paperwork's coming from that. And so after 2, it's the Cyclones 4, North Park 3. We'll put 14 on the board one last time here from Rochester for the game 2 of 4 games. The Empire State Cup. This is Midnight Sport. As promised, we went ahead and put 14 minutes on the board. The boys having their riboflavor and icing to try and refill the energy levels there. And we should be in good shape. Don't anybody get itchy for this third period action. It's coming right up here on Midnight Sports. All right, over the boards come Grebin and Tenenbaum, joined by Samosi, Klocek. And we've got 4 skaters on the ice here. Might need a 5th skater on the ice as we get a bit of a delay. Bigliotti will come over the boards. And the Cyclones just celebrating the fact that North Park able to get 5 on the ice, or celebrating the fact that the third period's about to begin. Maybe both. Why not both? It's Samosi all the way back to his own end for the puck. He stops, turns, works it to his forehand, on up. He was looking for Grebin on a stretch pass, but it was cut out very well by the Cyclones, who will dump in once more. Klocek all the way back, spins it to the far side. Samosi able to sweep that around, but this one's going to saucer all the way down for icing. Just 22 seconds into this final frame. It's a defensive zone drop coming up for North Park. Now, one last plug for this evening. Not sure if we'll have a strong enough cell signal, but it's North Park back in action against the Pelham Panthers. That's not Pelham up in Westchester. That's from Pelham, Ontario. And they've come across the border to Rochester to take on some American hockey teams and take on those teams they will, as Grebin able to work that up for Vigliotti. Vigliotti trying to work that onto his forehand and get some power behind it. Spun out front. And Tenenbaum takes a couple of cross checks to the back. After that puck was loose, he was trying to tuck it home instead. It's Tenenbaum who had a little stick work done to his spine, and so add chiropractic to the list of talents out there on the ice. This will be a face-off at the far circle in the offensive zone for North Park. Now, to put a bow on it, it's 9:20 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time. North Park against the Pelham Panthers. That'll be Game 3 of the Empire State Cup. And then tomorrow, 10 a.m., North Park takes on the Harbor Creek high school team. And that's a puck that goes all the way down for an icing with 13-14 left to play here in the third. We'll do it all over again from the offensive end. Just on the other side of this scissor lift, that makes it pretty difficult for you to see at home what's going on the near side of the ice. You got to trust me. Scarier words never been spoken. It's North Park in. Oh, that shot goes just high and wide on a deflection. Finkelstein alone in front. Cyclones able to get a stick in the way at the last minute. Fired in once more. Still loose. Touched home by North Park. Well, all of a sudden, we've got ourselves a tie hockey game as Kishlevsky had found some loose change in front and was able to put that one home. And with 13 minutes even, it's all of a sudden a 4-4 hockey game here in Rochester. It's Tenenbaum and Grebin trying to work that through the neutral zone. Grebin gets across at his own blue line. Vigliotti able to delay on this delayed offside. And North Park works that back into the neutral zone. Cyclones dump it in once more. Samosi on the puck. Spins it on over to the near side of the ice. It was Grebin able to chop that puck farther. Hand was raised for icing, but the puck never crossed the end line. Onward we play. It's Grebin picking it up with speed. Curling behind the Cyclones net. Setting up a wrister. Tight angle shot saved nicely by the Cyclones. And Tenenbaum stands a man up behind the cage, but the puck spun up and out of the zone. Getting back is Klocek, and it was a good defensive play there by 1-6, who was able to push the Cyclones offside. And so with 12:19 left to go in the third, it should be a neutral zone drop. Now this will be Tenenbaum at the dot. Halpern and Keyworth behind him. Grebin and Vigliotti, the forwards out there. It's Tenenbaum. Clean win back to Halpern. Halpern works that up strong side. He was looking for Grebin, who was able to work that puck just a bit farther. Cyclones will take over in their own end. Cyclones on the puck now. They flick that puck up. And that's a hand pass, but it's in the defensive zone. So onward we play as the Cyclones try to get that puck deeper. Vigliotti jams that play up. He takes a big hit in the neutral zone. Grebin does too. And onward we play. It was North Park from the bench that wanted an interference call on the hit on Grebin. They're not going to get it. It's now the Cyclones trying to work that puck up and out. It's been a scrappy game out there. And it was Grebin living up to his namesake on that near side of the ice to keep the puck in the zone. Now the Cyclones work that up near side. Puck dumps through the neutral zone. Meller all the way back for it in his own end. He's able to steer that to Halpern, who finds Keyworth point to point for North Park in their zone, and then on up. Vigliotti able to touch that puck farther. It's swept over to the Cyclones bench, though, and it'll be the Cyclones setting up in the neutral zone. Cyclones into the offensive end. Look out on the back post. The Cyclones trying to set up there. They have the puck in the slot, swiped wide. North Park, good stick work to cut out the threat. It was Meller in the way, and now Keyworth full flight into the offensive end. Tight angle shot, and it was the paddle of the netminder's stick that prevented that one from going in. And a little bit of jousting in front on the follow-up, but a couple of nice saves from the Cyclones. And with 10:56 left to go in this third period, it'll be Meller at the dot for an offensive zone drop. Meller wins that over to the half wall. Klocek fires in. Shot goes wide on a deflection. The Cyclones have seen enough. They'll just pitchfork that all the way down for an icing. We'll do it all over again with 10:47 left to go in this game. Offensive zone drop. Well, it'll be Meller, Finkelstein, Kieślewski, Klocek, and Samosi as the five skaters in white. And Meller at the far dot. One forward by him. He gives chase, as does Kieślewski. Puck comes up toward Klocek. Tries to dump it just a bit farther. Looked like it might have crossed the blue line there. North Park nearly got away with one. Instead, the whistle goes. Sometimes those whistles are set on a delay, and certainly that's what had happened there. 10:38 left to go in this third period. Puck drop right in front of the camera well. It's Meller winning that over toward Kieślewski, who can dump that in. A nice saucered backhand all the way to the far corner. And now North Park trying to set up shop, but instead the Cyclones with some speed in the other direction. Meller stands up a man at center ice. And now it will be North Park dumping in. Samosi able to upend a man. Cyclones come away with it near side of the ice with some speed. The Cyclones trying to carry it farther there. And we're going to get a call against North Park here as it's shot in at Bickoff. Huge glove save. North Park doesn't appreciate the hooking call, but it's coming. Bickoff made the save, and with 10:09 left to go in this third period, North Park finds itself down a skater. Samosi wants an explanation on the call. He's not going to get it. Keyworth skates over to the other official to see if he can get an explanation. But the official's not in the mood to have the conversation, and so this will be Tenenbaum as the penalty killer unit comes over the board. It's the Cyclones trying to push that puck forward, and North Park able to clear the zone up to the logo. Cyclones will stalk back to their own blue line, try and work this into a successful zone entry. They do. Up the right wing, Cyclones curling toward the slot, fired across. Bickoff snaps the pads down, deflects it between them, and freezes it for his team with 9:48 left to play. It's a Cyclone shot on goal, but nothing more in the sequence as North Park can get its line set again. This will be Meller at the dot. Puck won up by the Cyclones. All the way across it comes, near side of the ice. Cyclones on the one-timer, can't connect. And it was tick-tack, but not toe there for New York City as they'll set up once more in the high slot. Meller pushes his man all the way up to the blue line. Finkelstein now fires on a skater as the Cyclones work that back up to the far point. Cyclones with the puck now at the far point, trying to set something up top of the slot. Cyclones trying to step into one here, but Bickoff saw it the whole way. He was able to glove it on down to the ice and hang on to it with 9:18 left to play here in the third period. 1:10 left to go on the man advantage. It'll be a face-off in the North Park end. Certainly they'd love to get a zone clearance off this face-off. This will be Meller at the dot. Puck's dropped, chopped forward. Cyclones come away with it. Puck is then sent to the top of the slot as the Cyclones fire in. Bickoff with the save, and then it's tucked home afterwards. Bickoff had worked that puck down to the ice, and the Cyclones, though, able to pull it out from the pads and shoot and score with 9:10 left to go in this game. And so the hooking call that the North Park fans disagreed with comes back to haunt them as the Cyclones score on the power play. And with 9:10 left to go, North Park has to do it all over again now, finding themselves down a goal. but still with plenty of time left to go in this final frame. It's Vigliotti working that off the scorer's boards, trying to work it farther. Well, as Grebin, the Cyclones come away with it at their own blue line. Grebin swipes for the puck. Standing a man up was Vigliotti, but the Cyclones still coming in the other direction. They try to dump that puck just a bit deeper. North Park able to send it up and out toward Vigliotti. It was Tenenbaum trying to find him there. Vigliotti stalks into the offensive end as the Cyclones come all the way around and work that puck up and out. It was Samosi, a good stick to prevent what could have been a break in the other direction. And so all the way back, that puck goes for North Park to pick up. Cyclones making sure to play a conservative game here, just trying to hit the man on the stretch pass. Otherwise, sitting on back. Shot comes in. Bickoff able to get across and the puck up into the netting. So with 8:24, visitors run their shot count up to 28 on our screen. Probably more, but the action's been so intense, and it is hard to keep track of the shots on goal sometimes. All right, face-off near side of the defensive zone for North Park. Meller wins it over to the half wall. Cyclones on the puck there. They'll dump it in and rim it all the way around. It's Halpern watching his man in the corner. Meller pushes him wide. Puck sits in the near corner, stays there as the Cyclones happy to jam up as much of this game against the boards as they can with a 1-goal lead. North Park able to spring the puck and send it to the neutral zone, but the Cyclones send it right on back. Keyworth swipes it aside for Halpern. Halpern skates up, he'll curl back into his own zone, works it over to Keyworth on a nice switch of play. Keyworth all the way across the neutral zone into the offensive end, taps it around a man, and his shot deflected off a stick into the netting with 7:48 left to play here in the third. It will be a face-off in the offensive end for North Park. Now North Park can make some quick changes here in the offensive zone before the face-off if they want. Of course, with another game this evening, trying to keep legs fresh while also trying to take care of business in this afternoon game. That puck's dropped. Cyclones will carry it forward, and the Cyclones will be going to the power play. After Vigliotti had reached for the puck, he skates over to the box, and he'll get 2 for tripping. And so, with 7:43 left to play in this game, it'll be a defensive zone drop for North Park.
Let's go, boys!
Now North Park down a goal, now down a man for the next 2 minutes on the tripping call. And they'll look to kill off this penalty and then use that momentum to tie things up if they can. Cyclones another clean win in the offensive zone. They go all the way across, shooting in. Bickoff fights that off, and it's Finkelstein flicking it to the far side of the zone, but the Cyclones able to hold the puck in. Cyclones now on the puck, stalking in. They shoot in, and Bickoff able to shoulder that into the glove, and so a couple of saves on the sequence for the big number 4 between the pipes for North Park, and it will be another defensive zone draw for the home team. 1:43 left to go on the man advantage here for the Cyclones. 7:26 left to go in this game, as Bickoff just has an equipment adjustment. Meller had stayed out of the circle to make sure his netminder was ready to go, and he is. Meller clean win back to Samosi. Samosi able to skate that across the zone and fire up to the point. It's North Park trying to chip it farther. Had they been able to, they would have been off to the races. Instead, they'll just dump this one all the way down to kill some of this Cyclones power play. Cyclones all the way back behind their net for the puck. It's Meller on the forecheck. Cyclones work it over to the near corner. It's North Park having to put pressure on the Cyclones here, because otherwise New York City could just hang out in their own end and kill off more of this game. Cyclones trying to touch that one home at the back post, but it was Klocek who was able to get his stick in the way, and now North Park will carry this forward into the neutral zone. Wiped out of the play there was Finkelstein. North Park trying to get the puck back, but here come the Cyclones into the offensive end. Pushed wide all the way down to the end line. Cyclones work it up to the near point. It's the Cyclones still with 47 seconds left to go on the man advantage. They fire in. Bickoff with a nice save, and he gets himself a freeze with 6:29 left to play in this game. Shots now 31-18 in the Cyclones' favor. And North Park playing a bend but don't break game right now, trying to see out the rest of this penalty kill before they can get back to their offensive ways. This will be Tenenbaum at the dot. Keyworth and Grebin in the slot as North Park wins that up to the point, but without possession. Bouncing puck hits a couple of bodies. Halpern now across for it. Try and get the puck out of the zone. Cyclones maintain possession. That shot goes up and over the net. Cyclones hold it in the zone once more. Cyclones still on the puck, near side of the ice. They'll chip it on down to the near half wall and then to the end boards. Cyclones trying to open up some ice here to get a shot off in front. It's the Cyclones sending that all the way across, but that puck goes out of play on another deflection. 19 seconds left to go in the man advantage. 6:02 left to go in this hockey game. Offensive zone drop once more for the Cyclones. They'll play just slowing down a tiny bit here as the officials letting the players catch their breath. And now it's Tenenbaum at the dot. Puck up to the point. It hits a skate, spinning and working it down are the Cyclones. Cyclones still on the puck, trying to send it in front. Look out, shot in. Bickoff reaction, save, and two. And that puck all the way to the end boards. North Park able to clear that puck all the way down. Skating after it is Grebin. No icing as the penalty kill was still going on when that puck was released. But we are back to 5-on-5 hockey here after the double save from Bickoff. It's now North Park trying to spin that puck in front. Cyclones able to pull it off the boards and come in the other direction. Cyclones into the offensive end. Puck sits in the mid-slot all the way across with Tenenbaum. And now Grebin can give chase. Icing already washed away here as North Park tries to hold that puck in the offensive zone. Instead, the Cyclones right back in the other direction. It's a breakaway for the Cyclones. And Bickoff says no. He snapped that right leg pad down to reject the chance from the Cyclones, but the danger's not over just yet as the Cyclones have the puck still in the offensive end. Fired in. That puck takes a deflection, and now it's Halpern surveying his options off the boards. He finds Grebin. Grebin can shoot in to some open ice and make a change, and it will be North Park resetting in the neutral zone once more. Meller tries to carry it forward. He gets upended. And no complaints from North Park about a tripping call, so onward we go here as the Cyclones try to soft toss that in, but it was cleared out expertly by Klochek. It's now North Park trying to work that puck into the offensive end, but the Cyclones in the way, and here they come right back in the other direction. It was Samosi able to upend a player, and now Meller works that across the ice for Finkelstein, who tries to swipe it farther. Too many Cyclones in the way. And New York City able to dump that puck into the offensive end once more. Going skate to stick is Samosi, able to work that into the neutral zone. 4 minutes left to play in this game as the puck sits in the North Park end. It's Klochek working that over for Samosi. Cyclones making a change. Samosi can work it over to Klochek, and now that puck flicked up into the Cyclones bench as Finkelstein was trying to dump it into the offensive end. Instead, we will have a face-off in the neutral zone. Well, 3:50 left to play in this game. It's been an entertaining one. And who knows how many twists and turns remain in those 3 minutes and 50 seconds. This will now be Tenenbaum at the dot. Grebin to his left. He pulls that puck back toward Halpern, but there was a Cyclone stick in the way. And so Halpern all the way back to his own end for it. Moves the puck for Keyworth. Keyworth flicks the puck up. He was looking on a headman pass, but instead we're going to get an icing call here if that puck crosses the end line. It does. Tenenbaum pulls up on any hit. And so all the players happy to skate away without much conversation between them. It's going to be a defensive zone drop for North Park, far side of the ice. 3:35 remaining to play here as North Park looking to even things up on the scoreboard late on here in the third period from Rochester. Now this will be Tenenbaum at the dot, far side of the ice. Bigliotti and Grebin in the slot. And the Cyclones fire that in. It was cut out by Keyworth. Fired it. Bickoff made himself huge to cut out the ensuing shot. And now North Park fires that to the near half wall as these players collide at that half wall. but it was the big Bickoff save that sees us playing still in a one-goal hockey game. It's Keyworth carrying that puck up ice. He's able to swipe it farther, and now it's the Cyclones trying to get on that puck before North Park does. They fire it up to the blue line on out. 3 minutes even left to play here as Halpern all the way back to work that puck up toward Keyworth. It's shouldered aside by the Cyclones and then dumped in once more by the home team. It's Tenenbaum and Grebin getting that puck up to Halpern. It's an open shot, blocker to side. We had a great angle on it here. That shot was from Halpern. It was spun just a bit high. Puck still loose, and now it's covered up by the Cyclones netminder. Cyclones thought about going after Tenenbaum there, but realized, I suppose, that the puck was still loose when he took a jab at it. And so, 3 shots on goal there for North Park. Nothing more coming just yet. 2:41 left to go in this game. Offensive zone drop. It's Meller, Kishlevsky, Klocek, Samosi, and Finkelstein. That shot goes just a bit wide. All the way across is Samosi to keep the zone. Meller toward the end boards, joined by Kishlevsky now near half wall. Kishlevsky spins that in front, and it was kicked aside by a Cyclones defender. And now it's the New York City Cyclones through the neutral zone. Puck sits here right in front of the camera well, and will eventually find its way to Klocek, who goes point to point for Samosi. Kishlevsky looks to carry that puck farther instead. Cyclones away with it. 2:14 left to play here. Cyclones into the offensive end. They try to put that in front. It was good defensive work by North Park that sent it to the end boards instead. Look out all the way toward the back post. And it's touched in there on a tic-tac-toe play for the Cyclones. And so with 2:03 remaining to go, it's now the Cyclones 6, North Park 4. Well, ensuing faceoffs going to be Vigliotti, Tenenbaum, Halpern, Grebin, and Keyworth. As we said during the early part of the broadcast, a tie or a loss in the round robin portion of this tournament. It's no guarantee that your team would not move on to the championship game Sunday afternoon, but it does add just a little bit more pressure and stress to the ensuing 2 games. That North Park will have one tonight and one tomorrow morning before we know who might be going to the finals. It's Keyworth firing in. That one hits a shin guard. Cyclones able to clear that as North Park has an empty net here, looking to tie it up with 100 seconds left. They'll have to score twice to do so. Cyclones with the puck. They're going to shoot, and that puck goes in. No, looks like the goal already waved off, despite the fact that the Cyclones are scoring, or celebrating their score. The goal was waved off immediately as the Cyclones had all gone to the bench to celebrate. But instead, that puck was put into the North Park net as it had hit a Cyclone stick on what was a delayed offside. And so it's a face-off in the neutral zone, as we'll get our clock right here with 1:34 left to go. It just functions as an offside call on the Cyclones. Still a 6-4 hockey game. Now 6 skaters on the ice for North Park. 94 seconds left to play in this one. North Park wins that faceoff back to Halpern. Halpern on the puck. Able to work that to the far side of the ice where he finds Keyworth. Keyworth stalks in, pushed wide, tight angle shot, and it was saved nicely from the Cyclones, trying to get the puck up toward Halpern. Wiped out of the play there in front was North Park and Grebin, and now the Cyclones try to get to work in the other direction. They fire in off Halpern's skate, and onward we play. It's a puck that sits in the North Park end. They still have an empty net now as the Cyclones look to get it out front. Instead, puck rolls to Grebin. Grebin up ice with a minute left to go, joined by Keyworth. Tries to move the puck to him. Instead, the Cyclones able to skate that behind their own net. Cyclones on the puck with some speed all the way through the neutral zone now. And the Cyclones trying to send that on net. Instead, they fired all the way across, picked off by Vigliotti. But look out, the Cyclones now can turn and score. And so with 41 seconds left to play, it's the Cyclones 7, North Park 4. Well, North Park again back in action this evening. That game takes on renewed importance. Given the scoreline of this one, they'll be playing the Pelham Panthers from Ontario. We'll try to have all the coverage for you as we can. It was the same rink with a tough signal yesterday, but we're on a different sheet of ice. It is Midnight Sports, and so hopeful to be able to bring you all the North Park action as this one with 30 seconds left. North Park trying to get back on the scoreboard here. It's Samosi firing one in. Bodies go flying in front. It was Meller with the screen. But the Cyclones come away with the puck in the neutral zone. They'll skate forward. Cyclones on the puck into the offensive end, looking for a trailer as North Park gets right back on the puck. 10 seconds left to go. Samosi able to work it on up toward Koslewski, who kicks it farther in the neutral zone. Cyclones send it right back in the other direction. The Cyclones trying to get another shot on goal. That one goes wide, and that'll do it. We've gone final. From Rochester for Game 2, it's the Cyclones 7, North Park 4. We'll see you later tonight as North Park takes on the Panthers. Until then, stay safe.